put the spikes on and go out and play, but he hopes get the full night off here tonight. Here's Coco Crisp. An 11-game hitting streak for Crisp. And he takes a strike. And about 2 hours and 41 minutes after the scheduled first pitch, Malone ahead of Crisp, 0-1. 1-1. C.B. Buckner behind the plate. Fielden Culbreth, Jim Reynolds, Manny Gonzalez on the bases. Bounce to third. And Sano picks it up, fires across, 1-1. In Malone's last start against the White Sox, it was odd in a sense because he got ahead of hitters, and not just 0-1. He got ahead of a lot of hitters 0-2 and could not finish the at bat off. And in Malone's case, that doesn't necessarily mean a strikeout, but soft contact, ground ball, pop up, whatever. And the White Sox got a lot of 2-strike hits and knocked him out early. Here's Lowry. Swing and a miss.
The problem for Tommy Milone is that he doesn't have just wipeout strikeout stuff. He's got to be really, really clever. He's got to throw pitches on the inside corner when hitters aren't expecting it. He's got to hit the low outside corner. He's got to have a slow curveball working. And if he's not throwing strikes, even when he gets to 0-2, the way he can put hitters away is to hit those corners, and he has not been able to do that yet.
Missed inside, 1-1. The A's snapped a 4-game losing streak yesterday, beating the Twins 3-1, and we hope everyone had a good 4th of July, safe, happy holiday weekend, all that. 2-1. We did not televise yesterday, and we are not going to televise tomorrow's game at noon, and that was one of the complications here. One of the reasons everybody wanted to try to play tonight, if at all possible, because both teams have to leave after tomorrow's scheduled noon game. And oddly enough, both teams going to Texas, the Twins to Arlington and the A's to Houston.
That last pitch by Tommy, a perfect example of what he has to be able to do. When he has to throw a strike with a fastball, can he hit the corner with it, which he did there, 2-1. Now that makes that changeup right there.
Sano bobbles it, and Lowry will reach. Lowry runs pretty well. Looked like Sano might have had a play had he fielded it cleanly, but he did not.
Well, he charges in correctly, but the ball bounces up higher than he expects, hits off the heel of his glove.
And a base hit for Lowry. And that'll bring up Josh Reddick. As much as he struggled this year, and he went through a stretch last year similar to his tough stretch this year. Strike one to Reddick. Malone takes the mound here today with a career mark in the big leagues of 41-30. Swinging a foul. 0-2. The guy who with the Oakland A's went 13-10 one year, 12-9 the next year, 6-3 the next year, and then he was sent down to the minor leagues and traded from Oakland's minor league team in Sacramento to the Twins for Sam Fuld. Runners are 3 for 4 against Malone in the stolen base department. A lazy fly ball to center, and Buxton sprints in and has to make a basket catch. That wasn't so much as a lazy fly ball as a lazy pop up into short center. 2 down.
Almost into no man's land there. One thing I've noticed about Byron Buxton, we all know what a terrific center fielder he is, but he has really, really good hands at the point of contact with the ball in his glove. We saw a indication of that there, running in, and it wasn't even a basket catch. It was in a funny kind of angle of his glove out in front of him, and not everybody makes that catch as easily as he made that look.
There's Danny Valencia. Valencia having a very good year. Some thought he might get some all-star consideration with the numbers he's put up. But the all-star nod for the Oakland A's went to their catcher, Stephen Vogt.
There's a good example right there of what I was talking about earlier with Tommy Milone. First ball pitch, get a strike. Does it have to be a fastball down the middle? No. Good changeup right there on the outside corner to get ahead of the hitter.
And now inside with a fastball, 1-1. If Valencia survives the trade deadline, and there's some question that he will, it'll be the first time he spent a full year in a big league uniform with one team since 2011. And now down and away, 2-1. From the Twins to the Red Sox to the Orioles to the Royals to the Blue Jays to the A's, and maybe he's found a home with the A's. On the outside corner, 2-2.
Valencia didn't like it, and that's what has to happen for Tommy Milone. He has to be able to expand the strike zone a little bit, where if it's not on the corner, it's just off the corner, and he gets the call from the umpire. Tom Kelly talked about it in our pregame show today. He made some very interesting comments about what might be the case here tonight with Tommy and the umpiring.
Bouncer to short, and a nice hop for Nunez, and a nice inning for Tommy Milone. A hit in a scoreless first inning, but man, earlier was it pouring here at Target Field. Have a chance to strike first against the Oakland A's. And the Menard batting order for the Twins, their all-star representative Eduardo Nunez leading off. Then Robbie Grossman, Miguel Sano, Brian Dozier, Kenny Vargas, Max Kepler, Danny Santana, Kurt Suzuki, and Byron Buxton.
Sean Manaea on the mound for the Oakland A's pitched very well against the Twins out in Oakland earlier this season on the West Coast road trip. Has been just okay against the rest of the league, kind of on and off, but he's a young guy, rookie this year. The A's like him a lot, and as I said, pitched very well against the Twins last time.
So Nunez found out late this afternoon that he would represent the Twins in the All-Star game in San Diego, and now he's in the box ready to lead things off. And the first pitch, strike one.
See that delivery from Manaea, kind of a slinger of the ball, and really does, the one thing he does is work both sides of the plate really well.
Down and away, 1-1. Nunez was 0 for 3 with a strikeout against Manaea in Oakland. Deep to left field. And off the base of the wall, Nunez goes to second base with an opening double. And Manaea gives up a leadoff double, and the helmet stayed on all the way to second base.
He's laughing because the reason the helmet stayed on is he thought he hit that ball out. He was into his home run trot a little bit early. You watch him get out in front of a slider here. Manaea was very effective in Oakland throwing that slider in, and I think Eduardo Nunez was looking for it. He hit that ball and really thought he had enough down the line, hit the base of the wall, and now you see him. Yep, I got to lift a little bit more. That ball's supposed to be out.
Well, the wind is blowing in a little bit, and we maybe saw evidence of that in the Buxton fly ball that he caught in the top of this inning. I thought that ball when it left home plate was gone too. Here's Grossman.
You know, it's interesting. You can tell what a pitcher wants to do against hitters almost immediately. We've seen it now from both pitchers, both Tommy Milone and now Sean Manaea. Very, very obvious what he's trying to do. Throw it inside in there. There's 2 balls inside to Grossman, and then he'll tease a little sinker away and then try to strike you out or break your bat with a slider in off the plate. Batting coach Tom Bernansky told me before the game today the Twins didn't do a good job out in Oakland of laying off that slider in. So they swung at a lot of balls that were tough to hit inside, balls off the plate, broken bats, jam shots. So hopefully they'll make him get the ball out over the middle of the plate. But I'm sure that Nunez was looking for that slider in there the whole time.
And a strike. Oh, that was outside. I beg your pardon. 2-1. Twins have just one left-handed batter. That's Max Kepler. Mauer, Centeno, Rosario, and the switch hitter Escobar start the day on the bench. 2-1 to Grossman. And a called strike. Everything has been in except for the one that was supposed to be in, and it left it out near the outside corner. Now some of that might be the situation. I mean, Manaea knows Grossman wants to at least hit the ball to the right side, advance the runner a base if he can.
Well, when you think about it, that's exactly right, Dick. He and the catcher both know that that Grossman's thinking about hitting the ball the other way, but he also primarily pitches inside with fastball and breaking ball.
Missed low, and it's 3-2. Sano on deck.
Very difficult to get hitters to swing in a bad slider in if you haven't shown a fastball inside. You have to make them think it's going to be a fastball, and then it goes to the back foot.
Driven foul down the right field line. For those of you who had tickets for tonight's game but decided not to come because of the weather, and we don't blame you, neither do the Twins. If you had a ticket for tonight's game and you decided not to use it, you can exchange that ticket for any game later on this season schedule. And for those who waited, they get a chance to watch some very late night baseball. There is a called third strike. And Grossman is retired on strikes, and that'll bring up Sano. Northland's born defense for the A's. Jake Smolinski in left, Coco Crisp in center, Josh Reddick in right. It's a team that's gone 10 games in a row without an error, including the infield, Valencia, Semien, Lowry, Butler, and Matt McBride, the catcher. Here is Miguel Sano. Half swing, and they'll appeal. Strike one. One of the reasons the A's have won all 4 games in the season series, the Twins have struggled to score runs. Just 1 in yesterday's loss. Scored 7 runs in the 3-game sweep in Oakland. Twins were coming off maybe the highlight of the season so far, the 3-game sweep in Seattle, and then they went to Oakland and lost all 3 games 3-2, 7-4, 5-1. 1 strike to Sano. And now a ball. So when you're struggling to score runs, against a team, you certainly want to take advantage of a leadoff double. Get that first run on the board. Manaea pitched the 5-1 game in Oakland. Lifted foul. Pat Dean pitched for the Twins and took the loss.
Well, you always want to jump out ahead if possible, obviously. But Tom Kelly made a real interesting point in our pregame show about what can help Tommy Milone be effective, and that is pitching with the lead. Getting a 4 or 5 run cushion for Tommy Milone would go a long way toward Tommy being able to pitch the kind of game he wants to pitch.
Fly ball right field, and Reddick runs in now over to the line, and Nunez played it 1/3 of the way. He does not advance. The throw off target, 2 away. And the Twins have had to juggle the roster. Trevor Plouffe, scratched on Sunday, ended up being put on the disabled list with a fractured left rib. Kenny Vargas filled his spot. Then Trevor May was activated from the disabled list. He's had some back problems, and Buddy Boshears optioned back to AAA Rochester.
Tough situation for Buddy Boshears. He really pitched pretty well as a left-hander out of the bullpen, but was caught in a real roster tight spot.
Brian Dozier, the batter. He's hitting .339 against lefties and .364 since the beginning of June. And the Twins need a 2-out hit here from Dozier to take advantage of that Nunez double. Dozier hit a double in 2 trips against Manaea. Drove in the only Twins run against the Oakland left-hander in Oakland. 1-1. Fastball gets a swing and a miss. It's the longest weather delay for the Twins at the start of a game in Target Field history. But we are underway, and the Twins trying to get the game's first run. Popped up right side. Butler back for the catch. The Twins get an opening double from Eduardo Nunez, but Manaea pitches out of the jam. After a belated first inning, and Tommy Milone making just his 3rd start of the year at home. Most of his action has been on the road. And despite not starting a game at Target Field since April 25th in our Lowe's home field advantage stat, he's done fairly well since coming to the Twins. This still is, even though I think we agree that the ball carries fairly in this ballpark, but you'd still have to say this is a pitcher's ballpark rather than, say, Yankee Stadium or U.S. Cellular Field, right?
Yeah, I think it's a fair ballpark now. It's carrying better than when it first opened, carrying reasonably. I think it's a fair yard.
Chris Davis, the other Chris Davis, whose numbers are almost as good as the other Chris Davis.
He's been terrific.
The Baltimore Chris Davis is hitting .241 with 21 home runs and 56 runs batted in. And this Chris Davis is almost matching him. A drive to center, and Buxton is there to catch the liner one away. And that'll bring up Billy Butler. Butler's not had a good year and a half since coming over from the Kansas City Royals. Modest numbers again this year. And a big guy who looks like he should have 20 home runs has just 2 this year. But he has had extraordinary success against Tommy Milone. And strike one.
It would make sense that Billy Butler would be the kind of hitter, as you see the numbers hitting .500 against Tommy. It would make sense. That makes sense to me. Just the kind of hitter that Billy Butler is.
Milone puts the glove down. Butler retired, 2 away. And that'll bring up Marcus Semien.
Good changeup right there from Tommy. Starting with a curveball strike and then threw him a changeup. Got on the end of the bat for Butler. But Butler's a patient hitter. He waits a long time, hits the ball all over the ballpark. And so he's not as apt to chase some of the expanding of the zone that Tommy Milone tries to do.
Marcus Semien with his 17 home runs leading all American League shortstops, but a .238 batting average keeping him from the All-Star game. Up and away, ball 1. Number we haven't shown you, an encouraging number, maybe the most encouraging number for Semien, just 8 errors. He was very error prone in the first half last year, to the point where the A's brought in an infield guru very familiar to them and very familiar to Twins fans, Ron Washington. Swinging a foul, and Washington immediately took Semien under his wing and taught him some of the basics about shortstop. And when we talked with Wash in Oakland a few weeks ago, he said the biggest issue was his footwork and getting his legs under his throws across the diamond.
Right. Wash, a great student of the game, a great teacher of the game, and I really like this Semien kid. I think he's got an awful lot of talent, both in the field and at the plate. I think he's going to be a terrific hitter. As you mentioned him, he's 17 home runs and 43 RBIs here before halftime, before halfway through the season. And a lot of athleticism at shortstop, just needs consistency out there.
Swinging a foul now, 3-2.
He will learn along with that power. He will learn to be a better hitter for average, I think, and I think he, under the tutelage of Ron Washington, will continue to make good strides as a defensive shortstop as well. I think he's going to be a really fine young player.
And he's just hit his 18th home run of the year. A long home run halfway up the grandstand and left. And the A's strike first, 1-0.
Well, this is what we were talking about with Tommy Milone. He gets behind, and then he has to be able to throw the strike that he needs in a quality spot. He can't be in the middle of the plate on a 3-2 count, which is exactly what ended up happening. You see Suzuki trying to go in and stayed more of the plate than he wanted to, and Semien put a charge in.
And 1-0. 7th home run allowed by Milone in 32 innings. Jake Smolinski with a 1-0 count. Tapper, and it's Dozier on the left side of the infield, firing across to Vargas. The A's strike first. Max Kepler, the only lefty in the lineup, will hit second in the second inning.
Center, and Oakland takes the early 1-0 lead as the Twins come to bat here in the bottom of the second inning. Kenny Vargas back up with the big club. Played yesterday, was 0 for 3, but was one of the few base runners. Worked out a walk during that ball game, and I spoke with him today in the clubhouse about being back here. He said he's thrilled to be back. He said he's been working really hard, guys, at the plate, being more selective, being more patient, trying to put himself in a good position to square up the ball and do damage. He's a big batter that's trying to hit those extra base hits, and he said he's been working really hard down in Rochester. He's trying to develop that confidence that he can wait in these counts to put himself in the right spot. He did that with that walk yesterday when not many Twins were able to get on the bases. We'll see what he can do here tonight.
And he's got a 1-1 count now against Sean Manaea. Thank you, Kevin. Outside 2-1. Manaea, a big guy, 6'5", 245. So he's got a bigger frame than Tommy Milone. Called it down the line. That's a fair ball by a foot. And Vargas rounding first. He's going to dig for second. And he is safe on a short one-hop throw from Smolinski. So the second inning starts as the first inning did, with a leadoff double.
Well, you're right. That ball was absolutely scalded. He got a fastball on the just inside middle of the plate, it looks like. You see it right here. Maybe almost to the corner, but he was ready for it. Ball bounced just inside the line. And fortunately for the big guy Vargas, he was running hard out of the box. That right there got him to second base. He was running all the way. And it's a good thing. A little tough slide there, but it's a good thing he was running hard. It would have been an awful lot closer, and a good gamble with nobody out. To when you can make it play close with nobody out at second base, that's a pretty good gamble. Good for him.
Kepler squared to bunt, took a breaking ball for strike one. Half swing, he checked. 1-1. Oh my! I don't think there was any way that he went. Oh, barrel looked like it went out over the front edge of the plate.
Well, believe me, it will always look that way in slow motion. Always.
1-2.
I didn't think he went in regular speed. I didn't think he went.
Toyota Key stat, and Max Kepler, of course, with 7 runs batted in one game, but in not much playing time, he's put himself in the top 3 among rookies in the American League in runs batted in. driven to right. And Vargas played it halfway.
That's a mistake.
And that's the first out of the inning.
That's a base running mistake there with nobody out. You come off the base a little bit, wait and see if the outfielder is comfortable. If he's starting to get comfortable like Reddick was, then you have to get back and tag up and get over to third. Kepler did his job. He moved the ball to the right side, hit it hard, hit it deep enough. And it's very difficult for young players to not react immediately to run off the base when a ball's hit hard. There's something about a ball being hit hard that makes young guys start to run.
That's to short left, and Vargas will get to third, be held up there. And that's kind of why, and you're absolutely right, Vargas should have been at third on Kepler's fly ball. But if you're Vargas and you know you don't run real well, it's not an absolute certainty you're going to score on a base hit to the outfield anyway. And I think he was trying to increase his chances of maybe scoring a run, but he would have scored had he advanced on the Kepler drive.
Well, you just have to read that ball off the bat and and read the outfielder, and Reddick got pretty comfortable underneath that ball pretty early, and that's when you have to hustle back. You have to be close enough to be able to hustle back to second base and tag up and get over.
Tying run at third, Suzuki at the plate. Strike at the knees, and Suzuki looks back at C.B. Buckner, who is not winning the fans in the first couple innings with his strike zone. Well, Fox Tracks had it as a strike, I believe, in Fox Tracks. And Santana checked, and I think it was the fans, nobody in the Twins dugout asking for a balk. Santana, 11 steals, 18 tries. In the dirt. 1-1.
What we're seeing from the Twins here in the first two innings, it's kind of an indication of what has to get cleaned up for them to be a really good ball club. On the positive side, we're seeing young kids that can really swing the bat, guys that have a lot of talent, could really drive this club successfully 5, 6, 7 year run. But in the first inning, Grossman not able to get Nunez over to third, and then the fly ball Sano hit would have scored him. Here, base running mistake by Vargas and would have scored on Santana's base hit. So little things like that really need to get cleaned up. The difference between a winning team and an also ran team or even a bad team, the winning teams are able to play the game correctly most often, and they don't make enough base running mistakes take them out of games. They're able to hit behind the runner when they need to, and those are the little things that Paul Molitor really wants to get cleaned up.
Would you agree with me that most baseball games are decided in 1, 2, maybe 3 at bats along the course of a 9-inning game? It seems like there's always maybe 2 at bats where the game swung one way or the other.
You know, I haven't thought about that. It could very well be. I think you're right that there are some critical times and some critical at bats clearly in a lot of games. We'll see how this one plays out. But what I know for sure right now is that the Twins could have 2 runs, and they don't have any yet.
Right. And the teams that have winning records have done that on a more consistent basis. We can see snapshots of that. We had a good Twins had a good series with the Texas Rangers. They had a good series with Seattle. But the good teams, and when the Twins aren't good again, they will sustain that over a longer period of time. 1-2, Suzuki battling Manaea, trying to at least get the tying run in from third. And another foul ball.
Well, I really believe that this team of youngsters is going to turn out to be a team that can offensively score a lot of runs in a lot of ways. They're going to club the ball around the ballpark. They're going to be able to run with authority and aggressiveness. That young man's going to hit a whole bunch of home runs. That young man's going to be a big run producer. So really, Brian Dozier is going to be a big run producer. Really positive things, but you can't club it around the yard all the time. You have to be able to take advantage of what you're given.
Ouch. Vargas is going to come home and score on a 75-foot roller off the bat of Suzuki. It didn't sound like he broke his bat, but he definitely found the thinnest part of the bat to get the run in.
Well, it's a good thing Kurt wears that donut thing around his right thumb, because that ball didn't hit him too far above his right thumb. You'll see, way in there. But not a strikeout, contact, run scored, so it looks real good.
Buxton will bat. Working with Jack Morris over the weekend in the Texas series, we saw where the contact play cost the Twins a runner at third. Here, Vargas needed all the help he could get, and the contact play was on. And so the ball put on the ground. Vargas comes home, and the Twins have tied it up. And now the go-ahead run at second with 2 down, and Buxton at the plate. Missed some time with some general soreness because of his nice catch in the Texas series against the center field wall. That on Friday night in the 10th inning. Inside. And it's 2-0. Now Buxton's not hitting much against lefties, just 152, but the average is climbing. Trying to get a speedy runner in from second base with a 2-out hit. And now 3-0. Nunez on deck. And a 4-pitch walk. And Meneas faced 5 men. 3 of them have reached. Let's go back to Buxton's catch on Friday. Going back and then over to catch Odor's deep fly ball. And his right shoulder, if you could see, went right into the chain link area. And took some gouges out of his right forearm.
Boy, that looks a little more like specific soreness to me.
Yes, not general.
Not general.
My right arm hurts.
Man, that's I got sliced.
Fouled back by Nunez. 1 strike.
And I'm sure that it was general, because there was a whole bunch of specific soreness all over the place. It resulted in general. What a nice catch that was. He can do that. He can go get the ball. And as I said, when the ball comes into his glove, it stays in there. He has really good hands, even if his glove's in a bit of a funny position.
Right center, and Reddick over a couple of steps to end the inning. The Twins get the game tied on their second leadoff double of the ballgame. Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is presented by Northland Ford. Visit northlandford.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today. And by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. What's yours? It's actually turned into a pleasant night here after a rain delay of 2 hours and, what did we say, 41 minutes, I believe. We finally got things started. And Matt McBride will lead things off in the third for Oakland, taking strike one from Tommy Milone. McBride, in his 11th year of professional baseball, came up for 151 at bats over 3 years with the Rockies in his first year with the A's. And he chips a little pop up to right field. Kepler comes in. One away. Join us for wine, women, and baseball. Special ticket package includes a Twins stemless wine glass and a pregame hospitality event at Lowe's Minneapolis Hotel. A limited number of ticket packages remain for the July 27th and August 12th events. You can learn more at twinsbaseball.com/WWB or call 800-33-TWINS. And now the start of the second time through the batting order for Tommy Milone. And I didn't, well, maybe I did subconsciously mean for it to sound so ominous,
you
because
did. That sounded ominous.
That's been the trouble spot for Tommy. He's gotten through the lineup the first time typically in pretty good shape. It's been after that. He's had just one start this year where he's pitched 5 innings. And the numbers support the ominous tone with which I presented the announcement. 2 strikes to Crisp. 1-2. Just one start of 5 innings, and that start lasted 6 innings, and he gave up 8 hits and 4 earned runs in that. That was back on April 15th, game that ended up being the Twins' first win of the year. 2-2.
As we start into the second time around in the lineup, Tommy so far has had a really nice changeup. He's thrown it in all of them in really good spots. He's only thrown 1 ball, 1 fastball in the middle of the strike zone. So maybe he's got better command. There's another nice changeup in a really good spot.
Fair ball. Sano with his throw across the diamond. There is no arc even on that longest of throws that a third baseman has to make. It just looks like it's over there on a beeline.
He can fire it. There's no question. It's one of the best things about him playing third. You see him backhand set, and he knows he's got that. He's got that arsenal, that big arm. That is, you're right. That's a laser over there.
2 down, and now Jed Lowry. He hit a ball in front of Sano. He juggled it. Might not have had a play in any event. Lowry got an infield hit. And over Suzuki's glove to the backstop.
You were saying, Dick, that there was no arc on the throw, and there's no sink to it. You know, I mean,
yeah.
The arc is not, it doesn't occur early, and it doesn't occur late. It stays in the same, right in the same plane, all the way across the diamond.
2-0 to Jed Lowry. Half swing, but he went. You know, the greatest corner infielders in terms of ultimate championship, Gary Gaetti and Ken Herbeck. I mean, I saw Ken Herbeck today. He still can't stand up completely straight because he spent half his time fielding throws from Gaetti, stretched out with sinkers and balls, you know, in the dirt.
Well, he picked a few of mine over there too, I gotta tell you. It wasn't just the rat.
3-1. Swing and a miss. 3-2.
Three and two changeup coming. Fastball count gets him to chase. That's
off the
Tommy
end of the
Milone
bat.
right there.
A 1-2-3 third. We are in a tie game, and Miguel Sano will hit second in the third inning after making a nice play in the top of the inning. Fox Sports North is presented by CenturyLink. Switch to CenturyLink Prism TV for an advanced TV experience. Learn more at cprismtv.com. One apiece, bottom of the third. TC making some friends here on a late Tuesday night. Here's a high fly to left center. This ball's hit pretty well. Smolinski back on the warning track, makes the catch. Grossman hitting a deep fly ball, just getting it under it a little bit for the first out. And that'll bring up Miguel Sano. Twins are glad to have his bat back in the lineup, and he has done a nice job at third base since his return.
Boy, this was some kind of play. That's a bare hand short hop of a ball. But once he gets it, that arm is coming, boy. He knows how to throw it across there. Had some trouble in the minor leagues with making errors, mostly throwing, and the word was he wasn't really using good footwork. That's getting better and better all the time. And his footwork and his stabilization underneath him is good. Boy, that he can fire it across there as well as anybody I've seen.
One strike to Sano. And now two strikes. It's so rare when you hear of a position player needing Tommy John surgery.
Yes, it really is rare.
You know, typically pitchers, and now a few catchers have had to undergo it. But you see the power in that arm, and that can make you a believer a little bit. I mean, he really puts a lot of energy in throwing the baseball. 1-2. Fouled back, and as is the case many times with a pitcher, if you don't have proper mechanics, you put undue pressure on your elbow, and that's something Sano's, because of the surgery, very conscious of, trying to mechanically be stronger at third base.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. When you have the kind of arm whip and strength that he has, if you're not using good mechanics, it will put a lot of stress on shoulder and elbow ligaments.
What's encouraging is to see him make the plays on the bunts and the swinging bunts where, you know, all the mechanics kind of, I don't know, they go out the window or not, but there's a right way and a wrong way to make that throw too. So no, swings and misses, 2 down. And that'll bring up Brian Dozier. Carsoup.com trivia question: which Oakland A's pitcher has the most career wins against the Twins?
Boy, there have been an awful lot of really high winning percentage pitchers for Oakland, haven't there? You go back to Catfish Hunter, there's got to be considering something like that, and then you go through the.
Dozier with a big pop-up right side. Lowry was playing on the other side of second base. He makes the catch, and it's a 1-2-3 third for Manaea. Time now for our timeless moment presented by Coors Banquet. On this date in 1993 in Cleveland, A's outfielder Rickey Henderson became just the second player in Major League history to open both games of a doubleheader with a home run. In 1913, Harry Hooper did it. And like Henderson, he ended up in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Josh Reddick will lead off the fourth. It'll be Reddick, Valencia, and Davis facing Tommy Milone. One of the things that makes this start so important for Tommy Milone, he has been struggling. And Jose Barrios has not. Now, you could make the argument that Barrios is excelling at a level where Milone excelled at AAA.
Right. Exactly right.
But Barrios in his last 4 starts has won 3 ball games and has an ERA of 0.59, and in his last start pitched a 9-inning complete game. 1-1, and Reddick takes outside 2-1. And the Twins, as you suggested earlier, they've already accelerated the youth movement. Basically, if you're a position player and your name is not Jorge Polanco, if the Twins have high hopes for you, you're already here. Fouled away. Kepler's here. Rosario's here. Buxton's here. Vargas is here. And the Twins obviously need to bolster their starting rotation. And Barrios looks like he might be ready for another look-see up at the big league level. 2-2. Fouled away. .47 pitches for Milone, 30 strikes. And another 2-2. Just missed the corner.
So there's the pitch we were talking about. You were wondering earlier, how does Tommy Milone get ahead? Now he's 2-2. Can he strike somebody out? It's on the corner that he has to be. It's not a wipeout pitch. It's a perfect location pitch that he needs to have to put a hitter away. And when he's getting those pitches right on the corner or just barely off, then he's able to put hitters away. If not, he doesn't have the kind of, he doesn't have a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. He doesn't have a 90-mile-an-hour slider that looks like a fastball and breaks hard to the hitter's back foot. He doesn't have those classic strikeout pitches. He has to be perfectly crafty.
And he ends up walking Reddick.
Yep, he just trying for that outside corner twice with a 2-2 count and couldn't get it.
Time now for greater coverage of baseball presented by T-Mobile. And here's what we were talking about. Barrios, who made a couple of starts here earlier this year, really seems to be on a roll at AAA. 9 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 7 strikeouts in his most recent start.
You know, you make such a good point, Dick. I mean, if I'm Tommy Milone, I said, well, I did the same thing. I was 7 or 8-0, and I had a .87 ERA. Okay, so we could both pitch in AAA. It's way different up here. The difference is that Twins look at the stuff that Barrios has, and they look at Tommy Malone's difficulties getting through the second and third time through the lineup, and then they have to make a decision about whose AAA numbers make the most sense.
Strike to Valencia, 1-1. Valencia hit a ground ball to short his first time up. And where Barrios is definitely considered to be part of the Twins' hoped for bright future. Swing and a foul. Oh, and that got Buckner. Could hear him yelp all the way up here. Yeah, yikes.
That was nasty.
Bicep. And that got him right on the right bicep area, it looked like.
Yeah, you can imagine what that must feel like, about a 90-mile-an-hour baseball hitting you squarely in the bicep.
And a lot of grins through the pain for C.B. Buckner. 1-2 to Valencia. Well, just to complete the thought, where Barrios is definitely considered to be a big part of the Twins' future, Tommy Milone needs to prove that he can be in that future, if not with the Twins, with another ball club. Tapper to third. How many can they get? One, and that's it. They got the lead runner. One down, and Valencia reaches on the fielder's choice. Again, if you had a ticket for tonight's game and for whatever reason decided not to come, the Twins have offered an exchange program. You can exchange the ticket for tonight's game for any remaining game, equal or lesser value, and you need to visit twinsbaseball.com and be prompted from there as to how to exchange your ticket for tonight's game for a different game. Fly ball to the right field corner. Kepler measuring it and making the catch, and that's out number 2. Davis retired.
You know, back to the Barrios situation, there's an equal obligation for Jose Barrios to prove that he can pitch up here too, based on what he did when he was up here. What we saw from Barrios was really nice stuff, but also an inability to pitch the way you need to pitch to get big league hitters out, and so he had to go back down to AAA and reestablish himself and pitch his way back up here. But it's by no means certain that he is going to just come up here and dominate. So they have high hopes for him. I have high hopes for that stuff. I really like it. But as I was talking with Terry Ryan on the last road trip, he still has some things to learn about location and about pitching in big league ball games. So there's nothing guaranteed, even when you have that kind of stuff. So far, speaking of stuff, Tommy Milone has been really good. He has the Oakland A's off balance because his changeup has been so good, and because he stayed out of the middle of the plate with his fastball. His stuff looks as good as anybody's right at this particular moment.
You look at the scorecard here, and really only 2 well-hit balls. Semion's home run, obviously, and then the line drive by Davis that started the second inning.
Right.
Weak contact. And down and away. And of course, Milone in his last start, a disappointing outing. Got 10 outs, gave up 9 hits and 5 runs to the White Sox, and the Twins decided, well, we'll give them one more try. And Milone hoping that with that reprieve, if you will, the results will be the same as the results were for a Tyler Duffy. Bounced to third and a foul ball. Duffy was on the verge of being sent out because he was in a deep rut and maybe needed to get some correction at AAA rather than figuring it out up here. And Duffy turned around and gave the Twins the best start of his career. One and 2 to Butler. Milone got him on a comebacker. Again, Butler's the guy with the great numbers against Milone, 9 for 19 and a home run. And a dribbler to short. And they go the short way, and another good inning for Tommy Milone. This time he pitches around a leadoff walk. Minnesota will you find the Superior Hiking Trail, a 296-mile footpath along the breathtaking north shore from Duluth to the Canadian border. Hikers can see deer, moose, beaver, black bear, eagles, grouse, songbirds, and other wildlife. Find endless ideas for the perfect getaway at exploreminnesota.com. Share your favorites with hashtag #OnlyNMN. First pitch strike to Kenny Vargas, who led off the second inning with a double and scored the Twins run. Vargas, Kepler, and Santana facing Manaea here in the fourth. Rocket picked off by Semien. Vargas stinging the baseball here tonight. He's 1 for 2.
And he's hit 2 speeds. That's what's really encouraging. We've seen Kenny Vargas in previous stints here with the Twins have trouble with breaking balls, but he scalded that slider, almost knocked Semien over, and then earlier his first at bat he scalded a inside fastball. So bat looks quicker. Everything looks really good right now with Kenny Vargas.
Here's Max Kepler, fell behind, got 2 strikes on him, and then he hit a liner to right fielder Josh Reddick. And Vargas didn't advance from second to third, but he ended up scoring a couple of at-bats later. And fouled back, 2 strikes. And Kepler was called up here with the promise by others that he would hold his own against left-handers, and I guess you could say he's done that. Came into the game 45 at bats against left-handers, hitting .222 with a home run, 4 doubles, and 9 runs batted in. Checked his swing, 1 and 2.
I think he's done very well against left-handers. He came up and immediately saw a bunch of them in his first big league at bats in this trip to the big leagues when he got called up, and took a while to get his feet under him. But lately he's been getting a lot of hits. That average has really climbed against left-handers.
No one's going to confuse Sean Manaea with the other names that I'm going to throw at you, but you know, he's been facing Chris Sale and Jose Quintana and Cole Hamels and some really good left-handers.
Absolutely. And some relievers with some nasty stuff too that come in to pitch to him.
Well, and this is what the Twins like. He fell behind 0-2, and Manaea's been trying to tease him with stuff outside, and he's got some plate discipline, and it should get better.
Absolutely right. I'm on record as saying people know how much I think of this kid. I think he's going to be a terrific hitter.
And he takes a walk after falling behind 0-2. Twins fans, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with the all-new Fox Sports Go app. Download the app and take Fox Sports North and Twins baseball with you wherever you go. And I want to correct myself regarding the Twins ticket exchange program. I didn't mean to exclude those who are here, but the Twins have included them. So if you have a husband, a wife, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a son, a daughter, whatever, here at the game, text them and tell them that the Twins are basically offering them a 2-for-1.
Anybody's got a ticket.
If you got a ticket, you can come again. 1 strike to Santana, and Santana showing some encouraging signs of giving the Twins some better at bats from the right side of the plate. And Kepler gets back. Santana picking up some hits now as a right-handed batter, including a single his last time up.
Well, he's really struggled, but you're right. He's been getting better. Left-handed, he's been very good. Struggled against left-handers as we showed you.
What was the number a week or so ago?
Yeah,
it was like 2 for 24
right,
or something like that.
Right. It was in the .0 somethings against left-handers, and now he's moving it up little by little.
1-1. And that kicks away from McBride, and Kepler will go to second. McBride can't find the ball, and it did go into the camera well. If it had stayed on the field of play, Kepler might have taken a shot at third base. The ball leaves the field of play, the runner gets automatically 1 base, but if it stays on the playing surface, You can take a second base if you are willing to take that dare. Wild pitch, obviously.
You see McBride not able to find it. If that ball had hit the little lip there and stayed on, Kepler might have had a thought about it.
Little pop up over near the tarp and out of play.
And again, the situation in the game and the number of outs really dictates what kind of gambles you take you think about to take which bases. And so with one out here, it would have been a good gamble for Kepler to go to third. Right. If he felt like he could make it a close play. You don't want to say, well, there's one out, I can go, I'm going to get thrown up by 10 feet, but I need to go. If you can make it close, one out is a good gamble to try to get to third. You never, ever, ever go there with 2 out and make the 3rd out. There's no odds in that.
And up and away now. And the count runs full to Santana. Swing and a miss. Santana strikes on a pitch down. Strikes out on a pitch down and away. 2 away.
I'll stay up right here.
Kurt Suzuki got the first run batted in for the Twins. Now he'll try for the second.
So we watched Danny swing and miss a changeup there. This is just a 3-2 count where he made up his mind he was going to get a fastball and with the 3-2 count and swung at that changeup like it was a fastball before he really identified the speed. Common occurrence with hitters. You get fastball on your mind and get a little rush to get out there and get the big end of the bat out there in front and don't really recognize the other speed.
Taken low, ball 1. A's are pretty much ignoring Kepler at second base. He's prancing around at their second base with a huge lead. Lowry's all but ignoring him, and Semyon's pulled over in the hole a step or two. Grounded towards a hole and through. Kepler rounds third. He'll score, and Suzuki has both runs batted in. Kurt Suzuki with an RBI single. And the walk, wild pitch, and single combined to score the Twins the go-ahead run.
Kurt stays hot, gets a fastball in the middle and grounds it into left field with 2 out, and the big lead that you mentioned, Dick, that Kepler was able to get, scoring easily there with his speed.
And now Buxton, who drew a 4-pitch walk his first time up. Deep to left field. Smolinski back. Can't get there. One hops the wall over his head. Suzuki to third. He's being waved around. Semyon with a throw to the plate. Suzuki scores. And Buxton makes it a 3-1 game.
And I know as soon as Buxton hit that ball, the first thing that was going on in Kurt Suzuki's mind is, oh no, he's going to catch me. Not again. Good swing by Buxton. Got a fastball out over the plate. And he can put a charge in one. Make no mistake. He's got a very, very fast bat. Strong hands. The ball jumps off his bat. And that was a very, very nice swing and a big RBI.
Twins take a 3-1 lead. And Suzuki getting fanned on the bench by Eduardo Escobar. Quick trip to the mound. And the Twins have taken advantage of some ill-timed wildness, I guess. Twins didn't score when Buxton drew a 4-pitch walk. But the 1-out walk here in the 4th inning has led to now 2 runs.
The Twins are doing a much better job against Manaea this time of making him throw the ball in the middle of the zone and not swinging at the tough pitches they swung at consistently and seemingly endlessly over there in Oakland.
Inside to Nunez. Hit to the outfield should score Buxton.
Well, a hit to the outfield that doesn't score Byron Buxton from second base with 2 out is going to be about as frequent as Byron hitting into a 6-4-3 double play. It's just not going to happen very often. I would imagine that a ball hit anywhere on the outfield grass is going to end up with him across the plate.
I think Leedy's got it second. He may score in an infield hit.
Right.
And the A's pretty much ignored Kepler, and they're really ignoring Buxton as if to concede that, look, we want to try to prevent a hit to the outfield here, because if anything hit by Nunez touches the outfield grass, it's 4-1. Drilled to center. Chris coming over to make the catch. He stumbled at the end, and Nunez hit that ball every bit as hard as he hit the double in the first inning. But the Twins get a couple of 2-out hits to take a 3-1 lead. Breaking RBIs, Twins lead 3-1. Top of the fifth, time to step into the Minnesota State Lottery. Winner Circle 100 scratch-off tickets for a really nice aunt and uncle from New Ulm down in Terry Steinbach country. Yes, Melissa and Ryan have got their nephew here, Caleb. He turned 6. They stuck it out through the rain delay with a young man. Made it with some ice cream, some mini donuts, and everything else. How much fun are you having, though, that you did stick around, and now those ticket stubs get you have you come on back for another game?
Right, we're having a great time.
How much fun are you having, buddy?
A lot.
A lot. Well, they're going to be 100 scratch-off tickets for the aunt and uncle here for doing a great job tonight with the birthday for Caleb. All kinds of treats, a game, and now, guys, congratulations. You've been in the winner's circle and circled by World Series hero, Mr. Roy Smalley. Thanks, guys.
And we thank those fans and all the fans here for sticking it out through the rain delay of a little less than 3 hours. The consensus was, once we found out weather might be an issue tonight, everybody wanted to try to play tonight, because a split doubleheader tomorrow wouldn't have, while the games would have gotten in, both teams had to travel. That really complicates things. And so for our viewers too, we thank you for your patience, and I think everybody handled it as well as they could in terms of trying to get this game in. It's Oakland's only trip here, of course. So how these games are played, if they're played, when they're played, Umpires have a role in it now too. Major League Baseball has a role. Semien has to get a new bat. 2-2 the count. Semien, Smolinski, and McBride in the Oakland fifth. And one of the good things, there are many good things about having a 2-hour and 40-minute rain delay to start a ball game.
Really?
One of the many.
What would those be?
You don't have that nasty twilight issue. I mean, this is a night game.
It's a night game.
2-2. Poke foul.
The sky has been dark since the first pitch. That's right about that.
Well, actually, because of the weather, it's probably darker than it is right now at 6 o'clock. We can hardly see here. And Semien takes ball 3. In the fourth inning, Malone teased Josh Reddick, ended up walking him and pitched around the leadoff walk. Semien cranked the home run for the lone Oakland run. That was back in the second inning. Swung on it, missed. Gave him a changeup and got a strikeout.
Yeah, there's that great changeup again. He's really has based his whole game plan so far on throwing that changeup as effectively as he has. That's in everybody's mind on the A's side.
Hey, big night coming up August 9th. Look at all those rings, all those football championship rings. It's North Dakota State University night at Target Field, and a limited number of NDSU themed night ticket packages are available that include a game ticket and a green and yellow Twins cap. You can learn more at twinsbaseball.com/NDSU or call 800-33-TWINS. Down and away 2-0 to Jake Smolinski. Twins have a pull shift on for Smolinski. And in the second inning, he had a ground ball up the middle, but Dozier was standing right where he's standing right now and made the play. And now a 3-ball count to Smolinski. A's got off to a good start this year. They were 13-12 in April, but then they really struggled. Injuries have played a big part. They've used the disabled list 20 times this year. A strike, 3-1. On the ground sharply through the hole, even with the 3 infielders on the left side. Smolinski gets a ground ball single, and that'll bring up Matt McBride. The A's in 4th place in the West, 3 games better than the Angels. And the Angels beat Tampa Bay 13-5. And believe it or not, the Cleveland Indians beat the Tigers again, 12-1 tonight. Strike on the outside corner. And more than the lopsidedness of the score is the lopsidedness of the season series. Cleveland's won all 11 games they played so far with Detroit. All 11. 1 strike. That's hit to center. And backpedaling Nunez makes the catch and flips it back into Dozier. 2 down. Nice retreating play by Eduardo Nunez.
This is one of the harder plays actually a shortstop will have. The ball hit directly over his head, and figured out how to get your body turned around and run sideways back. Keep your eye on the ball all the way. Get your body in a position to catch it. Nunez up to the task.
And now Crisp. 2 ground balls to Sano. Strike on the outside corner. Malone had a 1-2-3 third inning, And in the other innings, he's never faced more than 4 batters, and he'd like to get crisp and continue that pattern here in the 5th. There goes the runner, and Suzuki's throw not in time. 2 strikes to Crisp, but Smolinski steals second base.
Pretty good jump. Kind of went on the first move when Tommy picked his leg up. He guessed that he was going to the plate, and he was right. Of course, Suzuki came out of there, fired out from behind the plate pretty well, made a pretty good throw, but he stole that on the pitcher there.
You saw on the replay, Dozier kept his glove on the runner. The Twins wanted to make sure that Smolinski didn't come off the base with a hard head-first slide. So they contemplated a challenge, didn't see anything worth challenging, and we play on. 0-2 to Crisp. 1-2. That's hit to left. Rounding third is Smolinski. Nobody cutting the ball off, and he's thrown out at the plate. Santana with a one-hop throw, getting Smolinski, who is cut down on the at the plate. Santana veering to his left, and he throws out Smolinski to end the inning.
Really good throw right here. One hop throw, went to his left. I don't think anybody was thinking he was going to throw him out at the plate, and he did it easily. Great throw by Danny.
Player, that's not the easiest ball to throw accurately on, because he was angling to his left a little bit and still came up with a perfect throw to Suzuki.
Yeah, Danny is throwing the ball so much better from the outfield this year than he ever has. He used to have trouble with the ball tailing on him. He'd get his hand a little sideways on the ball, but he's coming over the top a lot better. He's made some really good throws this year from the outfield and thrown guys out where I don't think anybody really expected him to have it be even close, and he's got himself some outfield assists. That was a terrific throw right there.
2-0 to Grossman. And now 3-0. Manaea looked sharp in Oakland. He has not looked sharp here tonight. We talked about the ill-timed walks. with 2 outs. Buxton walked on 4 pitches, and then he walked Kepler, the only left-handed batter in the lineup, in the 4th inning, and that ended up costing him. And down the middle, 3-1. And there's a walk on 5 pitches, and now a leadoff man here in the 5th inning. All right, walk us through this play and what should have happened. They got the runner, but it didn't look like the Twins had the cutoff set up right.
No, shortstop's got to go to third. He's on his way there. Sano's late. Sano's got to be over there to be in position. And in this case, it was a good thing he wasn't there, because when he finally realized he was supposed to be there, it looked like he was trying to cut the ball off. And if he had, the runner would not have been thrown out. And here's Santana getting it done. So stay out of the way, man.
Get out of my way.
Just don't even think about it.
Ball 1 to Sano.
What's supposed to happen is Sano's supposed to be in there early and then make a decision about, he should know where the runner is and make a decision about whether, if the play's not going to be close to the plate, then he cuts it off and keeps the batter runner from going to second.
Bounced foul, 1-1. Sano with a fly to right and a swinging strikeout. Called second strike. One and 2. A swing, and Sano has gone on strikes. First out of the inning. That'll bring up Dozier. Follow Twins Baseball live with the MLB.com at-bat app. You can customize at-bat to feature the Twins. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Plus, subscribe to at-bat Premium to get the MLB.TV Game of the Day, radio broadcasts, in-game highlights, enhanced game day features, and more. Here is Dozier. A couple of pop-ups to the right side. And a strike on the outside corner. Twins have had the leadoff man on 3 times with a pair of doubles and now the leadoff walk here in the 5th. See why Manaea tough to run on. He hardly picks up that front leg. And he delivers strike 2 to Dozier. Manaea, one of 11 different starting pitchers for the A's this year. And a breaking ball down and in, and Dozier is gone on strikes. 2 down. We'll bring up Kenny Vargas, who lined a double into the left field corner and then lined out to the shortstop Semien.
Two Twins hitters in a row now, reverting back to the way they were swinging at Manaea back in Oakland. Swinging at bad balls and helping him out.
And time called by C.B. Buckner. It's another good thing about having the rain delay of 2 hours and 41 minutes. There are so few fans here, we can hear the umpires. You have to count your blessings in this game.
We can hear each of the fans too.
Down and in, ball 1.
There's no good thing about a 3-hour rain delay. You can keep trying if you want.
Kinda.
There's only one, and there is one, and that is that we're going to take a normal flight to Texas tomorrow after the game, and not one that we're going to leave at 11 or 12 at night. So that's a really good thing.
Okay. And you'll be doing the games down in Arlington in Bert Blyleven's absence
I'm
again.
joining you down there, filling in for Bert, who's still slacking off somewhere.
1-0 to Vargas. And another check of Grossman. One and 0. Swing, miss. Vargas with a mighty swing. 1-1. Well, we're all happy that we are playing here tonight, and particularly Twins radio play-by-play guy Corey Provis, who has tickets for the Adele concert tomorrow night. And if we'd had a split doubleheader, he would not have been able to go to the concert. Called strike 1 and 2. Corey's a big Adele fan. I am as well, but I'm on the team charter, and he's going to fly down on his own because
nice.
Yeah. 1 and 2 to Kenny Vargas. 2 and 2. Good scoop by McBride. And we want to wish happy birthday to one of Vargas's former teammates. Jorge Polanco has turned 23 today. Or I guess if you're in Rochester, New York, it's yesterday already. Two and 2 to Kenny Vargas. And a fly to left. It's hit deep. Back is Smolinski. And that ball is gone. A home run. Vargas just got it over the wall into the flowers. A 2-run home run. And a big 2-out home run for Kenny Vargas. His first since his recall.
2-out, 2-strike home run. And the third consecutive great at bat and great contact by Kenny Vargas. See here, he tries to get in on him. Vargas says, no, get out of there. Quick bat, as I mentioned, that's much quicker. As the ball just got over Smolinski's glove, Manaea thought he caught it.
So did Manaea. And now a drive to right off the bat of Kepler. It's gone. A home run. And the Twins have scored their last 5 runs on 2-out hits.
Well, the Kitty Corps is stepping out here. The youngsters that we have so much good feeling about, so much that we're looking forward to at some point in time to drive a successful Twins club for 5, 6, 7 years in a row. We're starting to see that offense that we were talking about, the potential that's there as you look at 2 of the guys, and there's a third one that could really be mainstays. Of course, Buxton and Kepler. There's Kenny Vargas, who's swinging the bat better than I've ever seen him swing it. Max Kepler again against a lefty. 2 bullets to right field, 1 for an out, 1 in the seats. And that young man just keeps getting more and more comfortable. And he's got a phenomenally good swing. Just a great swing plane.
And now a first pitch strike to Danny Santana. The first 2 runs for the Twins driven in by veteran Kurt Suzuki. The next 4 by the young guys. Santana scalds one to left. And Smolinski has to reach up to pull that line drive down. Twins go deep twice in the 5th. They score 3 more and lead it 6-1. home runs on back-to-back pitches.
I just love how quick Kenny Vargas' swing is right there. That's a quickness that we did not see all of last year. A little too early celebration there by Manaev, who thought his left fielder caught the ball, and then Max Kepler, who just keeps getting more and more consistent with every at bat he goes up there. Once again, getting a left-hander and driving it out of the ballpark. Fun to see these young kids and the talent that they have.
One strike now to Jed Lowry, and inside a ball.
You know, we had Tom Kelly join us on the pregame show with Tim Laudner and you and me, and talking about a lot of different Twins baseball things. And Tom was prophetic, prescient. I mean, he said two things about Malone. Two things that would really help Tommy Malone. That would be an umpire with a bigger strike zone. He's gotten that in CB Buckner tonight.
Right.
And then pitching with a lead, and the Twins have given him a lead now, and
right.
it really helps Tommy Malone's style of pitching not to be pitching in a tie ball game or behind. It really helps him to get the lead. The other thing that TK said was he still had faith that Kenny Vargas was going to find himself and become a good hitter up here at this level, as Tommy misses just inside. But Vargas is showing a bat speed and quickness on, especially on balls in under his hands, that we did not see all of his last time up here last year.
And so Malone, who struck out Semien in the 5th on a 3-2 pitch, throwing a changeup, rears back and strikes out Lowry with a fastball down the middle.
And don't think that the changeup hasn't influenced these Oakland hitters, because there's a fastball at 88 miles an hour right down the middle, and Lowry laid on it because he's got that changeup in his mind. I'm not going to get out in front of that changeup and hit it off the end. I'm going to wait. Oop, 87, 88 miles an hour got thrown by me. And that's pitching. That's the back and forth speed and the in and out location that every pitcher strives to have, but a guy that throws 87, 88 has to have. And Tommy's been really good at that tonight.
Now falling behind 2-0 to Josh Reddick. He ended up walking Reddick, leading off the 4th inning. Andrew Triggs warming up. And outside, 3-0.
And you see Tommy's body language right there. He wants those pitches in the outside corner. When he gets behind 2-0 and 3-1, he tries to make that quality pitch with a fastball in the corner, and he needs those pitches out there.
Don't want to walk anybody with a 5-run lead. He comes in with a strike to Reddick, 3-1. And now Sano will swing over to the right side of the infield. Be a little bit of delay. You wonder why the Twins and other teams do it as well. A couple of reasons. One, by doing what they do, they only take one player and put him out of position. Strike 2. In other words, Nunez is a shortstop and everything is the same for him. It's just he's the only guy there on that side of the infield. And also, that might have been in Reddick's last at bat. There was a foul pop over by the tarp. If you're only going to have one guy on that side of the infield, you want a faster infielder. Here's a fly to left, playable by Santana. Out number 2. There was a foul pop down by the tarp, and Nunez was able to cover all the ground, even though the ball landed in the seats. And if it were Sano, if you took Nunez and put him over there and moved Sano over, I'm not sure Sano would have covered as much ground into foul territory.
No, I'm thinking not. I think that's a good observation. But you want, if you're going to have just one guy on one side of the infield, you want it to be your best fielder, which normally is your shortstop, and that's why they do it that way.
Here's Valencia. Base is empty and a swing and a miss. Well, now with the crisp single in the 5th inning, and now the 2 outs here in the 6th, the 3rd time through the batting order for Malone. And there have been precious few outs that Tommy's recorded facing a lineup for the 3rd time. Again, just one start prior to today of 5 innings or more. On the ground into center field for a 2-out single. And that'll bring up Chris Davis. 5 hits for the A's. And again, if Malone can get Davis, that'll mean 1, 1, 2, 3 inning, and the other innings facing just 4 men in an inning. It's a pretty good formula to win a ball game, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And Tommy just needs to keep the ball in the ballpark here. Just don't miss middle. Just almost didn't get that out before he threw it middle, and got away with one again. There was a fastball right down the middle that Chris Davis, a pretty good home run hitter, was laid on, and Tommy has gotten his changeup in every one of those Oakland hitters' minds, and it's got them off balance. There's no question.
Dribbled, and a nice pickup by Malone. Soft toss to first. Inning over. Another inning where the A's send just 4 men to the plate. Fans of the game had to endure a rain delay of about 2 hours and 41 minutes, but it was worth the wait if you wanted to see the Twins win a ball game. So far they're winning, leading 6-1. Again, all these fans and all you fans who might be at home who had tickets for tonight's game but did not use them, you can exchange those tickets for a ticket for a future Twins game this year. Kurt Suzuki will lead off the bottom of the 6th inning against a new pitcher. Triggs, you saw him warming up in the bullpen, and now he's in the game. Belt high strike.
You see the numbers for Triggs this year. We talked about Tyler Duffy stepping across his body. This is stepping across your body right there. Yeah. Or throwing across your body, excuse me.
His stride from the third base side of the rubber is almost directly to his dugout. One and one to Suzuki. And a 2-hopper picked up by Lowry. Suzuki retired. 1 down.
This is not exactly the way you draw it up as you're learning how to pitch as a youngster. Steps, as Dick said, almost toward third base and then throws back across. over the top of his leg.
One down. That'll bring up Buxton. Has reached both times. A 4-pitch walk in the second and an RBI double in the fourth. Down and away, ball one.
Good view of it there from the camera behind the plate of Triggs. Unorthodox delivery. You watch it right here. He'll step, instead of down the line right at home, he'll step way across
and deliver at the knees. 1-1.
Again, the kind of delivery that sent me over to the left side of the plate to become a switch hitter.
Outside, 2-1.
So you're a right-handed hitter, and you're standing over there on the side of the baseball where it's coming from, and it can be a little unnerving to have a guy stepping at you like that.
And on the outside corner, 2-2. When we've been lucky enough to have Rod Carew with us, we asked him about pitchers with different deliveries. He said he always tried to pick a spot, and a guy could do jumping jacks out there, but if the ball was going to come out, he always related it to the emblem on the cap and how far from the cap. Breaking ball just missed the corner. But with this guy, it'd be a little bit different to do that because his whole torso moves away from first base, and his release point is way over somewhere between the shortstop and the second base bag.
Right, but if you notice, his head goes with his body too. So Rodney's.
That's a great at bat by Buxton. Yeah. He'll fly around first, dig for second. Here is the throw, and he's in with a double.
That's just not a double.
What a joy it is to watch this man run.
It is so much fun. And there was no doubt as soon as he hit it, there was no doubt he was going to second. No, I don't think in anybody's mind. And yet that just is just not a double for anybody. Watch it here. He hangs in against that delivery, delivers a line drive into a line drive single, 2 hops to the left fielder. And watch him. He's right now. He knows he's going to second. That is really exciting.
And his only swing of the at bat. He took 5 pitches. 3 and 2, and he put it into left field, and now Nunez trying to bring him home. In his 4th inning at bat, he jumped on the first pitch and cracked a double. But here, seeing a pitcher with a different delivery, and wanted to take a look at it maybe a little bit before he decided to pull the trigger on a swing, and in each case he ends up at second base. Fly ball right center field. And Buxton to the bag. And here comes a strong throw from Reddick. Buxton beats it. There aren't many right field arms that are any better in terms of strength or accuracy than Josh Reddick. If Josh Reddick can't throw out Byron Buxton, no one can. 2 down.
Well, we're going to watch Byron Buxton run here. There's 2 hops to the left fielder who fields it and makes a quick, strong throw, and not even close. Now watch, he plays it. Byron plays it right. He stays close to the bag. Then he sees the outfielder comfortable, goes back and tags up, uses that great speed. Reddick throws a bullet over there from deep in right field. Would have gotten most guys. Buxton makes it relatively easily.
And now 1 strike to Grossman. Drew a leadoff walk in the 5th and scored on a 2-out home run from Vargas. That's to the left field corner, and that'll get down for a hit. Buxton comes home. Grossman will hold up with an RBI single. And the Twins keep adding on runs. Took the lead in the 4th on the Suzuki single, added another run after that, 3 more in the 5th, and now 1 in the 6th. And again with a 2-out hit.
Good swing by Robbie Grossman, who continues to make pitchers throw the ball in the strike zone for him to swing at it. He's already drawn a walk today, made pitcher throw him a lot of pitches. And then we saw Byron Buxton speed and end up with just a jog to the plate there.
I want to go back to Grossman. We've talked about the huge gap that's developed in his batting average. But because of all the walks he's drawn from the left side, there isn't much of a gap at all in on-base percentage. Grossman coming into the game today had a .382 average as a right-handed batter, only .212 from the left side. But he's drawn 26 walks as a left-handed batter, and his on-base percentage from the left side with a .212 batting average is .396. And now he gets a hit as a left-handed batter.
Well, he really knows the strike zone, and he makes guys throw it over for him to swing at it. I'm surprised he's only hitting .212. It's a much harder, stronger .212 than it appears much stronger than that. I'm surprised by that it's that low.
In terms of on-base percentage, and of course Grossman doesn't have enough plate appearances yet to be among the league leaders, but he's in pretty heady company. At .409 coming into the game, check swing foul. He would be 5th in the league behind names like Ortiz, Trout, Altuve, and Donaldson. Now he's not the power hitter that Ortiz is, or Altuve for that matter, but he's just having a great first year in a Twins uniform. 1-2, breaking ball, got it. The Twins get a 1-out double and a 2-out single and add another run. They lead it 7-1.
Here's our Grand Casino story of the game. The Twins were down 1-0 in the second inning when Kurt Suzuki with an excuse me swing would score Kenny's Vargas, but later he would come back in the third and get a more traditional base hit, scoring Kepler, who had walked. Then Byron Buxton would hammer a double over the left fielder's head, scoring Suzuki all the way from first base. That made it 3-1. Kenny's Vargas in the fifth would hit a home run just over the outstretched glove of the left fielder, and Max Kepler would follow with a back-to-backer to make it 6-1. Byron Buxton would double again, and Robbie Grossman would drive him home with the 7th run, and that's where we are here in the 7th inning. Twins piling it on 7-1.
And a tip of the cap to Tommy Milone, 6 innings, and he never faced more than 4 men in an inning. Gave up just the 1 run on the Semien home run, and now Trevor May coming into the ball game for the 30th time, but the first time since he was on the disabled list and went through a rehab assignment. And the pitch is up, ball one. And one thing we will talk more about as Trevor gets more active in his return to the pitching staff. I was talking with him about it again today. 1-0. Now that missed low, but that's where Trevor wants to be, and that isn't where he was before he went on the disabled list. He ended up having some back problems because he determined that he had lengthened his stride. And now it's 3-0 in an attempt in his transition from starter to reliever to jack up his velocity a little bit. And it wasn't a conscious thing. He just found himself with adrenaline lengthening his stride, and eventually it caused some back problems. And a strike, 3-1. So Trevor says he has to trust in the fact that he's got natural velocity, and we've seen 92.
Look at his delivery right here. He's getting his foot set down just a little bit shorter.
Foul back now, 3-2. And at 93, we've seen Trevor 95, 96, and we may not see that. He said it was just wasn't a conscious thing that he did, but being a starting pitcher and last year making the transition to a reliever, he was really trying to add velocity in his 1 inning at a time job description, and he got into some bad mechanical habits. Popped up near the Twins dugout and out of play.
Well, a hitter will do the same thing a lot of times. A hitter trying to generate more bat speed or get all really kind of cranked up and with adrenaline, trying to hit the ball long or hard or whatever, and has a tendency to overstride as well. And so I think it's a natural reaction for an athlete to get out of sync of sorts that way.
Driven to right. Kepler makes the catch short of the warning track. I don't believe we saw anything other than fastballs from May. We'll see if we see something else in his second at bat. One down. Join Fox Sports North at the next viewing party. Comes up Thursday, July 7th, beginning at 6:30 at Sunshine Factory in Plymouth. We'll be in Texas. The Twins will be taking on the Rangers. You can enjoy drink specials, register for tickets and prizes, and more. Visit foxsportsnorth.com. Click on upcoming events on the Hot Topics bar. Here's Semien. And now the velocity up to 95, but he's fallen behind again, 1-0.
Well, I think the one thing that has hit home with Trevor May is that it's all about location in this league.
Now to right field down the line and a foul ball again at 95.
If you throw 92 to 95 and your fastball's pretty straight and you're up in the middle of the zone, then big league hitters are gonna knock it around the yard. But if you can continue to repeat your same delivery so that you can throw the ball where you want it more often, then if you can throw like we see 94 right there, if you can throw 94 and throw it where you want to, then you've got a good enough fastball to pitch in the big leagues. But if you throw 94, 95 and you're struggling to be down in the zone, then not so much.
Right down the middle, and it's blasted to the gap. One hopping the wall, and Semien has 2 extra base hits. And Trevor threw that right down the middle and paid the price. And that'll bring up Jake Smolinski.
Well, that's exactly what we're talking about. 93 miles an hour, 94, 95. If you throw it right there and it's straight, then big league hitters are gonna rack that ball around the ball yard. There's no question about it. And so, I don't think Trevor's going to come up with an awful lot of movement on his fastball. But if he can gain a real command of location of fastball, he's got plenty of velocity.
That location given you by Fox Tracks, which was presented by Carrier. Jake Smolinski with a single and a ground ball. 12 pitches, 6 strikes for May, and I think they've all been fastballs.
The last one was his first breaking ball that he threw. He started off Smolinski. There's another one.
Yep. 1-1.
But again, right in the middle of the zone, and that one a little bit of a spinner, a little bit of a hanger. if Trevor, as I said, if Trevor can keep everything down in the strike zone, all three of his pitches, fastball, breaking ball, changeup, then he's got plenty of good stuff to pitch at this level.
Fouled back.
But the converse is also true. He doesn't have enough stuff to throw it in the middle of the zone all the time.
May with a mid-90s fastball, the breaking ball, and a changeup. Semien at second with a 1-out double. Breaking ball and a better one, but Smolinski got a piece. It's amazing when you think about it. Well, maybe not when you consider the team's record, but how much of a facelift this Twins bullpen has undergone since March. Fernando Abad's been a valuable reliever, but he had to be added to the 40-man roster. Pitches up, 2-2. Rogers didn't start the year with the team. May did, got hurt. Presley was with the team, Tonkin, but Ramirez, Kinsler weren't here. Kevin Jepson designated for assignment. Glenn Perkins hurt. 2-2. And a ball lifted foul. Casey Fiend was with the ball club, and he was dealt to the Dodgers. Two and two. May to Smolinski. Hit deep to center. Buxton chasing after it and making the catch at the fence. Right where he ran into the fence and suffered his general soreness, and now he's feeling some more soreness after running into that chain link fence again. I thought that ball was gone. I didn't think Buxton could catch to it or catch up to it, and I was wrong on both counts. Paul Molitor checking to make sure that Buxton's okay, and he says he's fine. So a deep fly ball for out number 2, and now Matt McBride. I wonder whether we'll take a look at it. That's right in the same spot where Buxton got scraped up.
Well, watch the route he takes. Perfect route, great speed. Absolutely no shying away from the fence. Just goes to get the ball. And like I say, once he gets his glove up there, really nice hands right at the point of impact, ball to glove.
You know, one thing I've noticed, and I've noticed it about Byron, and it might not sound like much, but when he runs, he is so fast, but his head doesn't bounce.
It's a beautiful, beautiful gait. It really is. You're absolutely right about that. He flies. He takes these long strides that scissor so fast, and yet he looks like his upper body is always totally in control.
Yeah, how do you do that?
You're just asking the wrong guy.
1-1 to McBride. Breaking ball over for a called strike.
I actually like that's a little bit of more of the slider pitch right there. That one and the one right before it. I actually like slider as we trundle into Wednesday here, Target Field.
Fouled back.
I actually like the slider from Trevor more than that overhand curveball. I think the curveball has a tendency to hang a little bit. That's the one that Smolinski hit that Buxton had to run down, and it just doesn't seem like that curveball fools hitters nearly as much as the slider does. And it looks to me like Trevor can control the slider better in terms of throwing a good spot. The curveball oftentimes stays right in the middle of the strike zone, whereas it looks to me like that slider he can throw for the outside corner to right-handers pretty effectively. And I do like the changeup as well. I think fastball, slider, changeup in a relief role. If Trevor's going to be in a relief role, I like that combination for him better than personally than as a thinking as a hitter and watching hitters against it more so than the curveball.
1-2. Fastball's up high. Two and two. Made to McBride. Fifth pitch for Trevor May. Breaking ball. Sano fields it, fires, and throws off target. And the inning will continue. Should be an error charge to Sano. Nearly was able to recover and still throw out McBride. No charge with an error, and now Crisp comes up with 2 men on and 2 out. Crisp is Crisp has been around a long time. His first professional year was 1999. He's 36 years of age. Nice scoop by Suzuki. Quite a bit older than a couple of guys who are in front of us, those 2 guys. And they're just waiting for a foul ball. And so we have to use all our powers, limited though they may be, see if Coco Crisp can foul one back to one of these 2 guys standing right in front of us. 1-0. And a strike call.
Well, that I will tell you because they're standing right in front of my seats.
That's right.
That it's virtually impossible to get a foul ball there.
Because you haven't gotten one?
The ball has to be up in the air to get over the screen. It has to be right in exactly the perfect spot, and it's very, very difficult.
95 at the knees, and it's 1-2. They've got pretty much the whole section behind them.
A ball can come back over their heads, but right there, and this is where Trevor needs to be. Of course, that's where every pitcher needs to be. But if he can be down there more consistently, then he'll have something going.
1-2 to Crisp. Got him. And it took a little longer than May would have liked. But he leaves 2 on, doesn't give up any runs, and 2 more innings for these guys to get a foul ball. in yesterday's game, and now they have held the A's to 1 run. Which Oakland A's pitcher has the most career wins against the Twins? Dave Stewart got a lot of them in the late 80s, early 90s. But it is Vida Blue, one of the nastiest left-handed pitchers of all time. Jed Lowry will, Brian Dozier will lead off the bottom of the 7th inning. It'll be Dozier, Vargas, and Kepler. Did you ever face Vida Blue?
I did.
And?
Well, nobody just wore out Vida Blue. Let me just say.
I know that.
But that was early in my career, and he was mostly better than I was at that point.
3 hops to third, and Valencia throws across. Dozier retired. That'll bring up Vargas. Vargas has had himself quite a ball game here, and now he'll hit as a left-handed batter. A leadoff double in the second, a liner just barely fair down the left field line. Then he lined to short, and then he hit a 2-run home run just over the wall and just out of the reach of Jake Smolinski.
Line drive, line drive, line drive, as we see there. He's had 3 terrific at bats.
Ball 1.
And interestingly, of the 3 at bats, the home run was hit the least hard. He got the ball up in the air, but the first 2 balls he hit, the double down the left field line and the line drive to the shortstop, were scalded, absolute rockets. And he hit the home run well, but not as hard as those line drives.
Pitch is up, and it's 2-1. Foul. Vargas 2 years ago made quite an impression. He hit .274 with 215 at bats, 9 homers, 38 runs batted in. A lot of strikeouts and not many walks. 3-2. And even in spending most of the year last year in the minor leagues, Vargas did hit .240. 5 homers, 17 runs batted in, and 175 at bats. And a call 3rd strike. 2 down. And Bob Melvin to the mound. The Twins Flex Plan gives you the flexibility to choose your games and your number of seats. You can choose in advance, even the day of the game, so don't plan, Flex Plan. Go to twinsbaseball.com/flex or call 800-33-TWINS to learn more. Triggs comes out with 2 gone in the 7th. Kepler drives it to right. This is high, back, gone, a home run. A drive to right field. This is back, gone. A 3-run home run for Max Kepler. Another 3-run home run for Max Kepler. Kepler with another home run here tonight, a solo home run, his last time up. And now he'll face left-hander Patrick Schuster. The home run came against the left-hander, the starter Sean Manaea. And now with 2 outs, Bob Melvin making a pitching change, bringing Schuster in.
I got to tell you, Max Kepler's got to think that these left-handers are falling out of the trees. He seems like he sees 2 left-handers for every one right-hander. It's been amazing.
Breaking ball over 0-2. Kepler, prior to this at bat, 47 at bats against left-handers and 76 against right-handers.
You know, not even 2-1. That's a lot of left-handers right away in a guy's young career.
And a breaking ball gets it. And the Twins go down 1-2-3 in the 7th with a pitching change in the middle.
Grayson with your Mall of America Studio Sports Update. A team the Twins just saw is next up. Join us as the Twins will take on the Texas Rangers. Series starts Thursday on Fox Sports North at 6:30 p.m. The Twins and the Rangers. Now back to baseball.
Neil Ramirez will pitch next for the Twins out of their bullpen. Regarding the Texas series, the Twin starters will be Tyler Duffy, Kyle Gibson, Ricky Nolasco. Tommy Milone was listed before the start today. He didn't do anything today to be taken out of the rotation. He pitched his finest ball game of the year. We'd like to tell you who the Rangers are going to start, but they have TBA listed for all 4 games. So we'll wait and see how Jeff Bannister lines up his rotation after their series finale in Boston tomorrow. Jed Lowry will lead off the 8th, then Josh Reddick and Danny Valencia. Rangers won at Fenway today. Another loss for David Price. 7-2. Texas won that ball game. Toronto beat Kansas City 8-3. Wade Davis put on the disabled list with what the Royals say is a minor forearm issue. They just want to get him get it calmed down before the All-Star break. The Yankees shut out the White Sox in Chicago 9-0. Bounce foul. 1-2. Ramirez, part of the revamped bullpen.
And he's shown some really good stuff when he's in the strike zone, as is the case with everybody, but of course. But when he's in the strike zone, his fastball's been sneaky. He's had an effective breaking ball, and he's had some very effective outings lately.
Just missed. Just missed. 2-2. Reddick on deck. And now missing inside, 3-2. Foul away. Twins trying to break overall a 6-game losing streak to Oakland, but all 4 games this year went to the A's. And the series finale coming up tomorrow. No weather issues expected tomorrow. The game will start at noon, so both teams will have a quick turnaround. And again, we are not televising tomorrow's game, but we will be televising all 4 games in Texas. Three and two to Lowry. Reddick and Valencia will follow. And fouled into the Twins dugout.
Ramirez has thrown Lowry some good pitches, and Lowry spoiled him. Pretty good battle going on right here. Ramirez has thrown him, as I said, some out pitches, and hadn't been able to put him away.
Wow, another foul ball. 10th pitch coming up in this at bat. Four 2-strike fouls for Lowry facing Ramirez. Five 2-strike fouls. May had an error committed. He ended up facing 5 batters. First time the A's have sent 5 men to the plate in an inning, and now Ramirez hoping he can get Lowry with this pitch. Remember your longest at bat? Was there one that stood out?
Oh man, I didn't even want to bring it up. I had a bat in Anaheim against a left-hander named Andy Hassler one time, and I think I fouled off 14 pitches.
And that's a heck of a walk taken by Lowry. And he's aboard, leading off the 8th inning.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Minnesota Twins, LLC.
Reddick with a walk and a fly ball, 1 to center and then 1 to left. Andy Hassler.
Andy Hassler. I fouled off like 14, 15, 16 pitches, some ridiculous number, and then finally swung and missed. Strike 3.
Ball 1, and that'll get Suzuki out to the mound.
So I didn't even want to think about it again. Didn't want to bring it up, but there we are.
Ramirez didn't pitch at all in the Texas series. His last outing came on June 30th in Chicago. One 1-0 to Reddick. low, 2-0. No activity in the Twins pen. I suspect that'll change if Reddick reaches. That's to left and deep. Santana back, leaps and makes the, no, he dropped the ball. Here's the throw to third, and that gets away from Sano. And Santana played the warning track very short in left field. He had room to make the catch without even a jump, and he didn't make the catch. Second and third, nobody out here in the eighth. A double given to Reddick.
Well, see Danny drifting on the ball here. He doesn't get back all behind it. He really was totally confused about where he was on the warning track. Ball did hit his glove. He had it in there, and it came out. But that problem started when he was drifting back on the ball, not getting back behind it, getting back to all the way back to the fence and knowing where it was.
Twins with a 6-run lead. They'll of course play the infield back, but now here's Valencia, the cleanup batter. Nobody out. Second and third. And a nice stop by Suzuki. The opening plate appearance by Lowry forced Ramirez to throw 11 pitches. Now Reddick gets a double on a ball that should have been caught in left. 1-0 to Valencia. One and one. Driven to deep to right field. And gone. I believe a 3-run home run, and the lead has been cut in half. It's 7-4. Still nobody out here in the 8th inning. And now Chris Davis will bat.
Well, I'm just amazed that the Twins pitching staff has not yet thrown one pitch inside to Danny Valencia. They keep throwing the ball out over the plate. He keeps taking these big, strong hacks at him. And there's not been one pitch, let alone 3, 4, 5, 6 of them in 5 games that the Twins have played Oakland, and Danny's torn them up. That they haven't kept him off the plate, got him thinking that they were going to pitch him inside.
Chris Davis takes a strike on the outside corner. Missed the corner. 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Davis with tremendous power. Ryan Presley getting loose. And Ramirez gets ahead of him. 1-2. Two and two. Three and two. 23 pitches, 13 strikes, and half his pitches ended up in a leadoff walk to Lowry. Butler on deck. Breaking ball. Davis swung out from underneath his helmet. think that Ramirez wants to leave that pitch there again.
That was a hanging breaking ball right there. Davis had designs of hitting a long way.
Full count to Chris Davis. Missed inside, and Ramirez hasn't retired a batter. Billy Butler to the plate. And Eric Rasmussen on the phone. I don't know if Presley is quite warmed up yet. Comes Paul Molitor. They're going to make the change. Very disappointing outing for Ramirez. He walks 2, gives up 2 extra base hits, and the A's are very much in this ball game. So Ramirez checks out. Nobody out here in the 8th inning. Twins have 6 outs to go, and their lead already has been cut in half here in the 8th. In your seat, but I know many of you are, because the A's have hit a 3-run home run here in the 8th inning. Yonder Alonso is going to pinch hit against Ryan Presley. David Ortiz, Bryce Harper, Mike Trout, and all of baseball superstars come together for the primetime event that will light up the summer. The MLB All-Star Game from San Diego, Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Central, only on Fox. Butler had gone 0 for 3. And Alonso will face Presley, will suddenly be put in here to try to restore a little order to this ball game, at least this 8th inning. A high fly to right. And Kepler will wait a long time for this to come down. 1 away. Well, Alonso took a big swing and hit it a mile in the air, and thankfully only about 300 feet from home plate.
Yeah, that was a good swing. Just got under it. I mean, anytime you see a hitter hit a ball to his pull field that high, he's gotten the big end of the bat out there to the ball, and it just got under it a little bit.
Now Marcus Semien, strikeout and a home run and a double. One pitch, 1 out for Presley. 93 in a good spot. I asked Ryan today about his increased velocity in Chicago. They clocked him at 99 miles per hour. We've regularly seen 97 and 98. There's 94. He says he has absolutely no explanation for it.
Well, as we said in Chicago, I think that gun was a little bit aggressive, but he is for sure throwing 2, maybe 3 miles an hour faster this year than I think than the last year, whatever the guns are.
And 94 on the outside corner. Semien got a piece. 0-2 to the Oakland shortstop. One and two.
Pretty good pitch there, 0-2, changing the hitter's eye angle, coming up above the zone. See if he can come back down with something, either fastball or slider.
Just missed the inside corner. Suzuki set up away, and he nearly hit the inside corner. 2-2. Wonder if this guy's ever hit a ground ball to short. Semien, 289 at bats. He's only grounded into 2 double plays. Fernando Abad warming up. Two and two. Popped up right side. The big man Vargas. Room and out number 2. And that'll bring up Smolinski. Smolinski 1 for 3. A single, a ground ball, and a fly ball. Ball 1. Hit high and deep to center. Buxton back. That ends the inning. Presley gets 3 outs from 3 men. But the A's get 3 runs to cut the lead in half.
Minnesota in the saddle here, 7-4. Stay with us directly after the game. You're up now. You might as well stay around for Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink. We've got a lot to talk about. Kenny Vargas back up with the big club, providing some power. We'll also take a look at the blistering speed of Byron Buxton, and we'll break down a terrific start from Tommy Milone. A lot of fun, guys. Twins in the saddle by 3. Maybe some insurance runs here would do good. We don't want extra innings tonight, do we?
Well, I was ridiculed for saying there were benefits from having a 2-hour and 41-minute rain delay, so I'm not about to propose extra innings. Danny Santana's hit the ball hard twice as a right-handed batter. got a single in the second. Then he lined out to Smolinski in the fifth inning. Santana, Suzuki, and Buxton here in the eighth inning. And on the outside corner, a strike.
Looked like that ball came around the plate. Danny didn't like it, but I'm going to tell you that at 12:40-ish, CB Buckner is his strike zone is going to be a little bit bigger. I'm betting.
And away, ball one. Schuster struck out Kepler to end the last inning. Alonso stays in the game, plays at first base. And a foul at the plate. Tomorrow the Twins will face Sonny Gray. Gray really struggling, and the Twins, even when Gray was going good, Twins had some good games against him. Irvin Santana will go for the Twins. Did I say tomorrow? I mean later today. Roller to the right side. And Lowry throws Santana out, 1-0. Saturday, July 16th, it's the championship breakfast celebrating the Twins Hall of Fame. Breakfast will feature a retrospective program featuring 2016 inductees Torrey Hunter and John Gordon, as well as other Twins Hall of Fame members, autographs, photos, and more. Great event benefits the Twins Community Fund, supporting youth baseball and softball throughout Twins territory. And for more information and get your tickets to this incredible event, visit twinsbaseball.com/breakfast. Here is Kurt Suzuki with one gone in the eighth inning for the Twins. Ball one. Twins have been playing better baseball and hope to put together a winning month of July. They're 2-2 so far in July. Again, the question isn't having to hope for a good game like today, a good start, some clutch hitting, a lot of two-out run production and all that, but sustaining it, carrying it over into tomorrow and beyond.
Well, it looks to me like the Twins offense can start becoming consistently productive, and really it's always about starting pitching, and it always has been and always will be. And you see the games that the Twins have been competitive in here in July especially.
And Suzuki will be aboard for Buxton.
It's been because they've gotten very nice efforts on the mound from the starting pitcher of the day. So if it has not been a good first half of the season for the starting staff, on the other hand, Kyle Gibson, Irvin Santana, Tyler Duffy, all that man Ricky Nolasco has been pitching much better. Well, they could get it turned around and kind of revert to the mean here, whereas I think the first half of the season was below average. They could, if they pitch above average here, the second half of the season, they're going to win some ball games.
Buxton has reached all three times with a couple of doubles and a walk, and he takes strike one. First double was against a left-hander, the starter Manea. The next double was against a right-handed reliever, Triggs. Gets away from the catcher. Suzuki will advance. Guessing pass ball. 0-2 now to Buxton, but there's a man in scoring position. And given what happened in the top half of this inning, not an insignificant potential run for the Twins to get. Kinsler's warming up. It would be a save for him if he enters the game in a 3-run lead. If the Twins score another run, it would not be.
And I'm sure he'll be happy with it not being. All additional runs are good.
And way outside, 1-2. One and two to Byron Buxton. On the ground. Lowry with the play. 2 away, and Suzuki goes to third. That'll bring up Nunez. Nunez a double in his first at bat. Couple of outfield flies to right and a liner to center. And if you didn't hear the news yesterday, Eduardo Nunez will represent the Twins in the All-Star game in San Diego. And a base hit right field. A 2-hit game for Nunez and another 2-out RBI for the Twins. Every run the Twins have scored here tonight, except for the first run, has come on a 2-out hit.
Ball in the middle of the plate. That great level on plane swing by Eduardo Nunez. The ball beats him a little bit, but the swing plane is so good. The big end of the bat stays in the zone a long time. He's able to muscle the ball in the right field for that RBI. And you're right, Dick, the 2-out hitting, really the story of today. For sure.
That takes the 9th inning out of a save situation for Kinsler. He continues to warm up. 6 for 13, a couple of home runs, 7 runs batted in, or roughly the same production it seemed the Twins got the first 2 months with 2 outs.
That's pretty close, actually.
And a called strike to Grossman. Missing the inside corner, 1-1. Two and one. Some people getting off maybe an evening shift at work, scanning through the channels. This is not a tape delay. This is a live broadcast. This is the result of having a 2-hour and 41-minute rain delay before we threw a first pitch. Three and one.
Evidently just what the Twins needed against the Oakland A's. The Twins came out. No batting practice on the field, and 2 hours and 40 minutes to sit around and potentially get a little loggy, but not the case of the Twins hitters tonight. A lot of the outs have been hard as well.
3 and 1 to Grossman. Oh, swung at a pitch that hit him. Sweeping breaking ball, and it hit Grossman someplace, but he swung at the pitch, so it's a strike.
Now this is something you don't see an awful lot.
3/4 swing, and it hit him on the back leg. Three and two. Tried the same pitch, and Grossman takes a walk.
I got to believe I'd have thrown the same pitch myself. The guy's going to swing at one that hits him in the leg. Maybe he's not seeing that pitch too well.
And of course that means we'll have another pitching change. 5 men batted against Schuster, and now former Twin Liam Hendricks will come in to put the Twins away here in the 8th inning. And have scored 8 runs, but Miguel Sano is hoping for one more chance here to make up for kind of a rough night. And Liam Hendricks will come in to face Sano with 2 men on here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Not been a real good year for Hendricks. He's had some health issues. I don't know that Bird is still awake, or frankly what state he's in. Sano hit a fly ball to right the first, and he has since struck out 3 times. Down and in, ball 1. Yeah, the Twins with 11 hits, 8 runs. The 3 and 4 batters are a combined 0 for 8 with 4 strikeouts.
Well, that's just bad managing.
To right field and deep. Reddick back. Gone. A 3-run home run for Sano. And the Twins have gotten back the 3 runs the A's got and more.
Fastball out over the plate, and this man is just so strong. Able to drive it out of the ballpark the other way. And I hope that makes an impression on Miguel Sano, that he does not have to be in a hurry and get out in front of everything, especially with 2 strikes. When he learns when he knows in his heart that he does not have to be in a hurry and jump out, especially with 2 strikes. He ought never get fooled by a curveball or a changeup with 2 strikes. Just wait and see the ball. If he's late, it's still got a chance to go out of the ballpark to the opposite field.
Dozier takes a strike. It's 0-2. And now 1-2. wrapped foul, and it's still 1-2. Guys are still waiting for a foul ball. It's almost 1 o'clock. Now let's try it over here. Two and two. And lifted foul over the Twins dugout, out of play. First pitch of the final game of this series coming up in about 11 hours. And another foul ball. And Paul Molitor will comment on what looks to be a Twins win. And another foul ball.
Brian battling hard here. This is a nice at bat by him. He's fouled off a lot of pitches with 2 strikes. He's got a little 2-strike approach going here, waiting a long time, fighting off fastball so that he's not out ahead of the breaking ball.
And a sharp ground ball. Semien scoops it up. That'll end the inning. But a good bottom of the 8th, and the Twins can breathe a little easier in the ninth. Twins looking for their 3rd win out of 4 games on this out of 5 games, I should say, on this homestand. Miguel Sano finally joining in the fun with a 3-run home run. The Twins have hit 3 more home runs tonight. And as a result of Sano's home run, Brandon Kinsler comes into a game in a non-save situation, which doesn't really reflect where we were just a few minutes ago when the A's had a 3-run home run and Neil Ramirez walked the leadoff or the next batter.
When Brendan Kinsler started warming up, he was warming up for a save situation. It got very positive from there for the Twins, and since Kinsler was the one warming up and then warmed up, he's got the 9th inning, even though it's not a save situation. He's gonna close it out.
And it happens regularly. A closer warming up, and once they're warmed up, you
got to put them in the game.
You might as well put them in.
Yep. Hopefully it can be a relatively quick, low pitch count 9th inning for Kinsler.
Poke to left. Will hang in the air. Santana with his speed tracks it down, 1 away. Time now for What's Next, brought to you by CenturyLink. Again, we're not televising tomorrow. It's a 12-10 start. And Irvin Santana will face Sonny Gray. Really had a tough time this year, as those numbers would suggest. Here is Crisp, 1 for 4 on the day. Talking about Crisp before, and it's always puzzled me. I get easily confused anyway, but you know, here are the A's, and they've developed young players, and it looks like they're going to get really good, and then they're dealt for prospects. And in the case of a couple of years ago, some prospects were dealt for veteran players when they had a good team and thought they had a chance to win the World Series. But through it all, Crisp keeps coming back and doesn't get traded. He's a good player, but he just seems like he's miscast on this Oakland team with all the turnover on the roster. 2 down.
He's been around a long time. He's been a good defensive player for a long time, and that will keep you in the game, that's for sure.
Bouncer to second. And for the first time this year, the Twins have beaten the Oakland A's. And as it turned out, Roy, rather convincingly. And what was most impressive, at least to me, the fact that almost all the runs were produced with 2-out hits.
Well, just great performances all around, up and down the lineup with 2-out hits, really good at bats. And let's not forget the 6 innings of really, really well pitched baseball that Tommy Milone threw at the Oakland A's. And in a situation where he really needed to have a good start, he had way better than a good start. It was as vintage Tommy Milone, as good as he can pitch.
We'll have the postgame show for you after a convincing Twins win after a 2-hour and 41-minute rain delay.